Today I would like to tell you something about the annular cutters and what type of cutter to use on what type of material. We have basically three types of cutters in our program. For materials, high-speed steel with a cobalt alloy, and tungsten carbide tip cutters. High-speed steel is the most common used cutters for general apply on standard steels, construction steels and easy-to-cut steels. High-speed steel, of course, as a standard cutter with this price ratio, is the most economic cutter to use. Advantage is that when the cutter is blunt, you can easily resharpen it. If you need some higher grade steel, most people prefer to go with a cobalt alloy cutter. It's a bit harder, it gives you a longer lifetime, and you can put your feed rates up, and the difficult to cut materials can be done with a cobalt cutter. On top of that, there is the TCT cutters, which you really use for extreme metals like hardox, austenitic steels. This cutter will do the job where the other two will perform much more difficult. You can use higher RPM rates, and starting from a size, let's say 50 mil or 2 inches and up, TCT cutters becomes cheaper to manufacture than high-speed steel and the more expensive cobalt 8 cutters. So again, for standard steel application, you always use a standard cutter, best thing to buy. For the more harder materials, you will use a high-speed steel cobalt alloy cutter. And for the more tougher materials, you use the TCT cutter.